Blog Talk Radio.
Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot, oh my. It's just another night for Supernatural Girls. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Here's your host, paranormal researcher Patricia Baker, on the one, the only Supernatural Girls.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Supernatural Girls Radio. I'm your host, Patricia Baker, and I'm here with my co-host, roasting away in Tucson, Miss Patricia Kirkman, PK. How are you tonight?
Well, I kind of like the idea that now somebody can honestly say I'm hot stuff. Took long enough to be the weather. No, it's crazy.
Goodness me.
It's
Do you have to wear those oven mitts on your driver's wheel when you get in the car?
On my shoes, too. Can you imagine? They're even talking about the little pads to put on the animals because the sidewalks in that are so hot to try to walk your pet. They're just
dangerous.
They've been burned, yeah.
Oh, so poor little guys. Yeah, we got to be careful with our pets out there in that kind of heat. That's for sure, everybody. Be very careful with your pets. Make sure your pets' paws are protected. So, PK, what's going on with the numbers? You've got all kinds of, again, wild and crazy stuff happening in the world today. And what do you think? What's happening?
Well, today is an 8-day, so it's all about authority figures and things of that nature that have been ongoing. Nothing is normal. I don't care how we try to look at it, shake it up. Nothing is normal. Just keep holding on. There's going to be more things coming out of the woodwork. It's been that way for the last 3 months. This time, hopefully, they'll wrap some of it up. We're just about out of this month. It may make a difference, but I'm really worried that come next month, we're going to have a whole new strain of issues that need to be addressed. Headstrong people trying to be smarter than the average bear when they can't get their head out of their backside. It's not going to work so well. So it's going to be quite interesting to watch. But we already know it's coming, and all we have to do is say a prayer or two, try to stay calm, and take a look at the paranormal. That looks normal compared to what we've got going on down here.
That is for sure.
Yeah. But everybody's working on something different. And did you do something, think about the fact that we could take and possibly have a free something for some of our guests for next week?
Yes, well, let's announce that. Why don't you tell them what you're going to do?
Well, if they send in their birth name and their birth date, we'll put it in a little kitty, and we'll have a drawing and have a little mini reading for whomever, and it will be done offline. Send your phone number as well. It will be a private session for you that we will do, but for the lucky winner.
For free. How about it, huh?
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes we need something free to make us feel good.
Well, that's nice of you, really. And so make sure, everybody, that you send in your email, and you can find PK's email address right on the supernaturalgirls.com website. You can send it in, just click on her email. It's right there, and send in your name to be chosen for the drawing. And we'll see. Somebody's going to win. Might as well be you.
Oh, yeah.
So send that in. That's terrific. So nice of you, PK.
We all need something special once in a while. Just for the heck of it.
We all do. Yes. And tonight, talk about special. We have a very special guest tonight. We have Staci Wells. We're going to bring her on in just a few minutes. And she is a medical intuitive, among many other things. She's highly trained. She is tremendously talented. She's leading the way for the New Health Detectives. These medical intuitives are amazing, and Staci actually did a medical intuitive reading for me right before the show. I'm going to share what happened, so everybody just stay tuned. And if you have a question, be sure to call in. Our number is 563-999-3539. Again, it's 563-999-3539. And I see there's people already waiting with questions on the board. We will get you just as soon as we can. First, I wanted to also talk about our Facebook page because we always post amazing stories there. And this week we had a lot of amazing stories. The latest one I just posted was about the new Missing 411 movie that just is coming out just now. It's called Missing 411, The Hunted. This is what happens when hunters go missing. Now, hunters, as we all know, are some of the most highly trained outdoors women and men. And yet, David Paulides is one of our favorite people on the planet because he's been doing a great job as a detective with all of this, has followed a number of people that have gone missing who were hunters. And this is going to all be detailed in his latest documentary. I believe you can order it or pre-order it online. The trailer to it is on our Facebook page. Make sure you take a look. I think David has hit on one of the most fascinating and frightening stories of our time. And this is all regarding people that disappear into thin air and nobody knows how or what is involved. And some of them never to be seen again, and some of them turn up in very strange places, unfortunately not alive. So make sure you take a look at that trailer, and I hope the movie's good since I'm promoting it. So,
going to be good.
Yeah, I hope so. His books are tremendous. His books are just out of this world great. Someday, I swear to God, I'm going to drag him onto the show. I've asked him a number of times, but I got to get him on. He's just a great guy. He's done tremendous work. So also, if you are interested in a private reading by PK, you can also schedule this online at patriciakirkman.com or from supernaturalgirls.com. You can also contact me for soul realignment and a new thing. I am learning a new thing. It's called a manifestation map. It's part of the new soul realignment work. It tells you exactly how you personally manifest and then how to follow this map to create what you want in your life. The work from Andrea Hess is truly groundbreaking. So if you're interested in something like that, make sure you send me an email, and I'll put you on the list for that kind of reading. And, of course, we have – I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Better have me
I'm rambling on.
I'm ready.
Okay. You're going to be, I think, one of the first because you're on my list. So you're already there.
Good
and
deal. Good.
We have our great sponsor, Astridian Cosmetic Line. Make sure you take a look at astridian.love. They have a very natural, high mineral content cosmetic line. It is really superior to a lot of things out there. Take a look at that. And, of course, we have our magic candles. These are powerful. These are not your usual candle. They're made by Bruja, Katrina Rasbold, and me. So you can shop for those right on our Supernatural Girls website. We're going to have a new offering coming up that's also fascinating and health-related. That'll be up in the next week. So make sure you're also signed up for the Fringe Files newsletter so you can keep up with all the stuff that we're doing. We're going to be introducing some new things. And, PK, you're coming out here. You're coming out this way. So we're going to make our plans. We're going to be doing some new stuff for our audience. You're coming to my house.
I'm going to be your guest. I'm coming. You ready or not? Here I come.
That's right. We're going to do the show live together here in the studio in the Berkshires of Massachusetts. It's going to be very exciting, as it always is, because we have the very best guests in the world, and we also have the very best audience in the world. So, without further ado, I'd like to tell everybody a little bit more about our guest tonight, Staci Wells. She is recognized as one of the top psychic mediums in the world today. She has been helping others with her intuitive gifts all of her life. She brings over 3 decades of professionalism, compassion, and extraordinary accuracy to every session she conducts. She's gifted with clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and empathic abilities. She also has exceptional intuitive access to information that allows her to pinpoint central life issues with laser-like precision. Now, there's nothing more helpful than that, knowing exactly what you need to do to turn things around. So her knowledge of metaphysics is wide-ranging, including in-depth experience as a gifted psychic medium, medical intuitive, numerologist, tarot card reader, and certified hypnotherapist. So we're going to talk tonight a lot about all of these things, mostly medical intuition, to see how she tracks these illnesses down right to the source. So, Staci, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much, Patricia and PK. Pleasure to be with you.
Great to have you here.
For all of us.
Yes, this is exciting. Now, tell us a little bit about you, because you've said you've been doing this all your life. You've known you have this gift. How did you know? Did you know this since you were a toddler?
Yes. All my life I have seen spirits. I've heard spirits. I've also had this, I'm not sure what to call it, this sense about illness. And, for example, in my own seminary, which was a 3-year seminary, I was the only one who would accurately pick up on the area of the body where the problem is. When I was a child, I would often hear my spirit guides tell me to go into the kitchen, get this, that, and the other thing, mix them together, and use it on somebody's condition. When I was 15, something really extraordinary happened. I had one of the first Reiki treatments in the United States, and it was at a school where this was being taught, where Reiki was being taught. So the teacher and 13 students all had their hands on me at once, were all working on me, and when they were done, I opened my eyes and I was seeing into their bodies and seeing their chakras.
Wow.
Since then, Since then, I've learned to sort of mask that when I'm out day to day with people. So I'm not looking at everybody's bodies. I'm not picking up all kinds of psychic information on them. I really try to compartmentalize that so I can be out in the world every day. It was when I was such a young child, about 5 years old, that I realized these spirits I was seeing was not what everybody else saw. And I started to talk about that with my mother, who was fairly understanding up to a point.
Staci, you're getting a little warbly. I don't know if you're still in the same position with your phone, but we're losing a little bit of what you're saying. So we want to make sure we hear everything tonight. It's so important what you have to share. So keep going. Let's see if it corrects.
Oh, okay. I kind of forgot where I was. Does this sound better?
No, it doesn't. I don't know what happened. Now you're on the landline.
Yeah, I'm on the landline, and I'm on the same phone we used earlier. Would it be all right if I hung this one up and called in again from a better phone?
Yeah, sure. Go right ahead, and we're going to just keep talking to our audience about this. So go ahead and hang up, and then call back in.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes, thank you. So
good information for us, and I couldn't break it down, unfortunately.
I know. Sometimes this happens on the board, as you well know. I even had trouble tonight getting on with Skype. It was acting bizarre. But
everything's been going a little crazy these days, that's for sure.
I know. But Staci's work is amazing, and I can't wait to share with everybody what happened when she did the work for me this afternoon. It happened right before the show tonight. And as you know, I've told everybody I have systemic scleroderma, and it is a mysterious disease with many, many tentacles to it. And Staci was able to pick up on just a tremendous amount of information, had through her guide, made suggestions. And again, I just want to say to everybody, this is not in place of your medical doctor, nurse practitioner, or physician's assistant. This is something additional that many people enjoy having contact with and often get insights to bring to their medical doctors, etc.
Right.
So again, we are just saying that this is in addition to, and it does not take the place of your medical doctor. Okay, I've said it.
Oh, maybe she'll pick up on my throat so they won't have to operate on it. That would be great.
Yeah. Yes, you'll have to ask her. I know she's not going to be doing any readings online. I mean, tonight, she said, over the air, but you can certainly, you will have her number. And we're going to tell everybody how to contact her also.
Definitely. Well, I've already put a little note on my board here to do a little checking up on this. Yeah.
Yes, because as I found out also when we were working together tonight, that she was able to see things that I know for sure would never be picked up on any kind of imaging system that we currently have today. So it's remarkable when you have somebody like that who can see right into the body, and it's amazing. It's just amazing. So we're just waiting for Staci to come back in. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
You're getting very warbly.
Okay, now I'm getting warbly. Well, that's not good. Let me just move around. Okay, but we're going to try a different position. How's that?
I've heard that line before, but it's different.
Yeah, right. I know. Well, we're not going to go there. We can't have that much fun tonight. Okay. Hi, Staci. You made it back.
Yes, I did. I finally found an extension that worked.
Okay, let's give it a try. So we were just left off at this amazing Reiki experience that you had that awakened you in such a manner that you were able to see into people's bodies. And as you were just explaining, you don't go around looking, into people's bodies without an invitation. Mm-hmm. It's something that you've learned to, I guess, manage, which is great. And I know I've got people texting already. How do I get a hold of Staci? So you better give everybody your website. Let's start there.
Okay. It's www.stacywells.com, and I'll spell it for you. S like Sam, T like Tom, A-C-I-W-E-L like Larry, L like Larry, S like Sam, StaciWells.com.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay. And so
I don't want to miss anything.
Pardon me?
I
said I joined early this afternoon because I don't want to miss anything that you have to offer.
That's right.
It's going to be so interesting to be able to work with you.
Thank you. Because, one of the things that's so important for people in the audience, and I know people in the audience already know this, but we're going to say it anyways. Chronic illness does not really have any kind of a good treatment in this country. We're really good at emergency medicine, and I give everybody credit for emergency medicine here. But for chronic illness, it's a Band-Aid medicine, and it doesn't address the cause. So we're chasing symptoms. We're paying huge amounts of money for pharmaceuticals. One pill causes another, basically reaction, and then you have to get another pill for that. It is not the best system for chronic illness. And having all of these insights from, I don't care where they come from, but as long as you have these insights, whether you get them yourself in meditation or you work with a medical intuitive like Staci, that is going to help you out tremendously. So anyways, let's pick up the story from where we left off. So after that experience, you learned to manage your gift so you weren't staring into people's bodies. And then what happened?
Yes. It took me quite a while, a number of years, to go from that to the way I do medical intuitive readings now, which are very, very focused, as you now know. And I'm able to do this work of not just seeing into someone's body, but the best way I can describe it is putting a portion of myself or my consciousness inside their body and bringing along my spirit guide too, who usually directs me as to where to go and what we're looking at. And so it's a very slow, step-by-step process often to go through a person's body and find out what really is the cause. I often communicate with my spirit guide during these readings, and he will usually offer up suggestions for what could be helpful and beneficial. And somehow I always seem to find a correlation between the health situation and the karmic lessons that are being served through that health experience or illness experience.
So you're really presenting...
And I find that all...
Go ahead.
I find that altogether it's really quite helpful to people. It sort of wraps up the package of their illness with a little pretty little bow and gives them something that they can take with them, and maybe even a feeling of empowerment, knowing that there's more they can do and what to do.
And it's so empowering, isn't it, to be able to hand people all of this information on the spiritual level as well as the physical level. It's a lot of good information that people can use to their benefit.
Thank you.
Yes. And I want to say that, again, I want to share with everybody, you did, a wonderful session with me today, and it was very powerful on a lot of levels because it's not just you talking. It's the whole spiritual energy that you bring with you. It's your spirit guide that you bring with you. And I could feel it very strongly. It's very, relaxing. It put me into a meditative state. I was aware, yet my body was totally relaxed. I could feel this was a part of the energy, and it probably makes it a little easier for you to look at people's insides when they are in a calm state. So all of this is part and parcel of you doing the reading, which is great. And I have a kind of a complicated issue, which is scleroderma, and you were able to pinpoint a number of things that needed to be addressed, and then your spirit guide came in with a lot of suggestions for supplements and different things like that. And these are things that I hadn't yet considered. I do a lot with supplements, PK, you know that, and yet your spirit guide was able to come up with a few other things that were not on my list yet, but they're on my list now. So it was very helpful. And then, of course, when you added the spiritual connection, the lesson, which is often, as you mentioned, with people who have a chronic illness, learning how to put ourselves first, that we are the people that are the caretakers. We take care of everybody else first. And often we learn how to do that in our dysfunctional families as a way of saving our thoughts. Well, we'll just take care of everybody else and then we'll be safe. So it's a very ingrained process until it blows up in our face, which may happen right away or it may happen years later. All of it was a very helpful experience and very deep information. This was not superficial either. I want to let everybody know. This was a very deep reading, very profound. And I encourage you, if you have an issue that you want to discuss with Staci, don't hesitate, because she's obviously one of the very best in this country who is offering this kind of medical detection. And again, it doesn't take the place of your doctor. This is to give you insight and also help you get in charge of your own health. Handing it over is never a good idea. So, Staci, tell us more about some of the people that you've worked with and the people that have you've been able to pinpoint the source of what is causing their illness and how they've been able to manage it differently.
One of the ones that stands out the most to me was a woman who consulted me about her son. Her son was about 15 years old, and he was having tremendous headaches on a daily basis. It was interfering with his ability to study and basically his ability to enjoy life because of this chronic daily headache. So I looked at his neck, his shoulders, his chest, his back, because those muscles can sometimes create headaches. So that was the first place I wanted to check out. Everything looked normal there. So then I went up into his brain. I went up into his brain and started looking at that. And I saw something really unusual, and I had to kind of keep coming back to it and look at it. It was a clump of some extra tissue at the base of his brain on the right side. Now, I can often be looking at something in somebody's body and not know what the condition or disease or whatever is called, or not clearly know what I was looking at. And this was one of those times. I just knew it didn't belong there. It was extra brain tissue. I told the mother that. She took that information, took that and her son to the doctor. Further examination and tests revealed that the boy had something called Chiari, maybe it's called Chiari, Chiari, Chiari malformation. And this is the kind of thing that can shorten a person's life. Normal expectancy without diagnosis and proper treatment is about 25 years.
Oh,
with it being with it being caught at the age and stage it was caught, he's able to get treatment for it and live a normal lifespan, and his headaches are gone.
Oh, that's fabulous.
I know.
It's terrific.
That really impresses
they
me,
probably
too.
They wouldn't have found it without this insight from you, right? They
Right.
didn't find it before
That's
you.
Right.
That's just phenomenal.
And can you imagine how good it feels to know that you've made a difference like that in a family's life?
Oh,
it's awesome.
That has got.
Then would you like me to tell you about another one?
Oh, please.
Yes.
There was a woman who came to me with complaints of pain and some rigidity on the right side of her abdomen. She had a team of neuropathic doctors who were working with it, and nobody could seem to pinpoint what was really going on. So I went into her body and took a look. And I looked at various places around her body where there was some lesions. And I think really the correct name is adhesions. And I kept being drawn to the right side of her body, and looking closer and closer at it, I saw something I'd never seen before, just like the extra brain tissue in that boy. What I saw with her was I saw that band of tissue, and that kind of tissue really hardens up over time. I saw that band of tissue from the right abdominal wall over to, I don't remember honestly if it was her kidney or her uterus. It was pulling everything to the left towards her right side. It was on the right side. It was attached to the right side of the organ, the right side of the abdomen, and it was tightening up and drawing everything towards itself. That was the cause. So she was able to take that information, take it back to her doctors, and get treatment, and she contacted me 2 months later and said her naturopaths were then able to treat that, and after a 2-month period, she no longer had pain, and they were continuing to treat it.
That's fabulous.
Awesome. I love to be able to help people like that. Then recently there was a doctor. Shall I go on?
So a doctor came to you. Yes.
Yes. Recently there was a doctor, and he complained about pretty much nonstop digestive issues in the digestive tract. I believe there was also constant constipation, and nobody could really pinpoint what the cause was. So once again, I take a look around inside from stem to stern, top to bottom, go all the way through his digestive tract, and I noticed two things that I had never seen before. One was in his small intestine, and it was a very small, flat bump. I think it was a flat wart. Going further down into his colon, I saw the same flat wart on the inside of his transverse colon, the part that goes across from right to left, and it was on the part of the colon wall that faced him, faced the inside of his body, and I saw that little tiny small flat wart again, except this time there was a clear liquid substance, which I think it was mucus, that was being exuded from the wall of the colon right around that wart. So I told him all of this, and he said it was very useful information and that he had had a severe intestinal virus a few years ago. It made sense to me because warts are little encapsulated virus.
That's right.
So the whole thing made a lot of sense, and he thanked me, and he felt he was helped tremendously and could now go forward and make a treatment plan, design a treatment plan to deal with it.
Fabulous.
Yeah, that's great. Yes. Now,
what a feeling help so many.
I certainly don't remember every reading I do, but these are three that I do remember.
They're incredible. And now here's a question for you, and then we're going to take a question from our audience tonight. There's talk that some of these chronic illnesses are caused by weaponized viruses and bacteria. Have you ever encountered that when you do a medical scan, when you look into somebody's body and you find an infection? Do you see these things that, because they're so smart. They can detect antibiotics and hide from them. Really? What does that except a weaponized bacteria? So I'm just curious if you've ever seen that in someone's body.
No, I have not. I don't know if I would know what it was when I saw it, but I would certainly make note of it. And from your description, I've not come across something like that. I also always ask my spirit guide, too, as you know, and he's never mentioned that as a cause. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I just haven't run across it.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about it in terms of these chronic illnesses that we're seeing today, also the Gulf War syndrome and also Lyme disease. Because there's so many co-infections.
I've definitely done readings for people with Lyme. And one of my cousins is an energy healer, and she does tremendous work with Lyme because she had it herself.
Very motivated patients, I think, are the best healers and the best sources of information sometimes, right?
Right.
There seems to be more and more conversation about Lyme disease this last couple of years than I've ever heard before. Is there a more of it taking place, or is there more issues that we're just being aware of it now?
That's a good question. The one thing I'm hearing is that there is a greater number of carriers, of organisms that are carriers, plus there is a greater number of hosts that are in the physical condition where they can accept the bacterias and viruses, he says, transmitted through the tick into the human body. Because of the processed foods we eat and because of the pesticides, the chemical pesticides, glyphosate, all of that.
It makes for a very relentless disease process, that's for sure.
It's so frightening because nothing that we're eating has anything to do with what we used to eat, and yet they're, quote, bigger and better, and nothing has flavor, and everything has all these additives. How does one really know what's the better way to go for them personally?
Get back to basics.
Yep.
Shop on the outside aisles of the store. Seriously, and go organic, all organic if you can, as much organic as you can, Be kind to your kidneys and liver by going organic.
Well, some of the stories are catching on because you're seeing more and more of that. A few years ago, you were lucky to see bits and pieces of it. Now it's starting to become the high point within the store instead of just an add-on. So
Isn't that true?
On. But I'm still concerned with the way they're producing some of these things. Are they really as good as they used to be when they first started doing organic?
No, because the prevalence of glyphosate, and it's being sprayed, and the air carries particles of that to the nearby organic farm. Right. Particularly so with, oh my gosh, I hope nobody hates me for saying this, particularly so with organic wheat. We don't really know for sure that it's all organic because of what I just said. Those little particulates in the air. So you do the best you can.
Boy.
You eat clean.
Well, we're going to take a question
as much as possible. Yes.
From one of our audience members has called in. Again, if you want to place a call and ask Staci a question, she's not doing readings on the air, but she will answer your questions about medical intuition and spirit guides and all of what she knows that she's an expert in here. But the number to call is 563-999-3539, 563-999-3539. And we have someone from area code 203. I'm going to bring her on the air, or him. Hi, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hi, this is Pat. Thank you so much.
Hi, Pat.
Gosh,
What's your question
so many things to talk. Well, so many things to talk about. And hi, Staci. So many things to talk about and ask. Staci, gosh, I wish you would give shows where you just talk about, what you've learned. It must be fascinating. And I'd like to ask you, well, one thing, my friend has Chiari syndrome. It was diagnosed maybe about 45. It was actually her brain going down into the spinal column.
Right,
that's why it's so serious. Yeah. And I'm across from Long Island, and there's a lot of talk about, all the research they did on animals there. They're trying to sell the island, and a lot of people are against it. I think it's because they think it's really contaminated. And a lot of people say the Lyme disease came straight across from Long Island to Lyme, Connecticut. The Lyme has changed, and one theory of a friend of mine who does a lot of research is that it's now biochemical warfare. There's no other things in the plant. I don't know if it's true or not, but I just wanted to add that. I hear a lot about nano, stuff being put in our bodies, but my question is, I have Epstein-Barr syndrome. It comes from mono. I just joined a Facebook group, and I am blown away at all the information and all the symptoms and struggles. And Epstein-Barr, I've learned, can lead to all kinds of other diseases, including cancer and MS and so on. So do you know anything about Epstein-Barr? And, my other question is, I'm interested in the reading. Would you be able to determine if it's physical with me or if it's a lot of emotional?
Yes.
Okay, because I've been struggling.
In a reading I would be, yes.
Okay, I've been struggling my whole life, and I have got to come up with an answer. I'm searching and searching and searching and not getting anywhere, so I would love to, I'll contact you. But what do you think of Epstein-Barr?
My spirit guide is saying it is an opportunistic disease. I really can't speak to what you tell me a lot of people are saying. I really can't speak to that, not having dealt with anyone where that has come up as a causative factor. I know that there are different forms of Epstein-Barr, and I certainly have worked with people to help them beat back the virus. You never can really get rid of it, but you can beat it back into dormancy. And then you have to watch your stress level, because a lot of stress will bring those little virals out of dormancy and flush them back up into your body again. But every time that happens, you just beat it back into dormancy. And this is usually done with food.
Yes, I've seen.
And
I'm beginning to believe that.
Food and also supplements, natural supplements.
Yeah, yeah.
And it takes persistence over a very long period of time. I went through 3 years where my spirit guides told me, go to the refrigerator, eat this for 3 days, eat that for 3 months, eat this other thing for a month. And after 3 years, it stopped, and I felt tremendously better. And I've only recently realized why. It's because they were treating a virus. They were treating viral load in me.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, it's fascinating. Thank you so much. Gosh, I'd love to just hear you talk about diseases and you know, for hours. You must just have a wealth of information.
I don't know.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your call, Pat. Really appreciate it.
Do you do readings for pets?
Yes.
Sicknesses. Great. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, that's a good question. Okay. Thank you, Pat. That's a really good question. So you're able to do this for people's pets as well. How wonderful.
I don't get much call for it, but I absolutely do it. I've done it with my own pets. I've really enjoyed doing it for horses because they're so sensitive and empathic.
Well, we're going to hear more stories about that. We're going to take a very short commercial break and come back and hear more stories about people and pets and horses and who knows what else. So everybody stay tuned. You are listening to Supernatural Girls Radio. We'll be right back.
Pure essential oils, specialized minerals, and a revolutionary anti-aging technology. Astridian combines the best of all scientifically proven ingredients in easy-to-use creams, lotions, and concentrated serums. Astridian's advanced line of products take your skin to a new level of being healthy and beautiful. We offer a variety of collections that address all your skin concerns. The Essential Anti-Aging Series treats and moisturizes your skin for a long-lasting, younger look. The Multivitamin Series promotes healthy skin with high-quality vitamins and minerals. The Sports Series restores skin from cellular damage and stress. Astridian also offers a revitalizing solution for hair and a professional series for doctors and medical spas. Visit astridian.love today and begin your new journey to healthy, beautiful, youthful skin. Astridian, beyond your expectations.
Are you ready for a new experience of freedom and powerful connection? Would you like a positive, effortless change in your life? Then come to CosmicFusion.com, where we offer the most advanced energy clearing and expansion techniques in the world, with a quantum vortex energy to activate your divine blueprint and life's purpose. When your soul leads the way with cosmic fusion and quantum vortex energy, you can break clear of past difficulties and blocks with the power of the source. With cosmic fusion, the source energy does the work for you. It's easy and effortless. Listen to our free meditation right from our Cosmic Fusion website, the Cosmic Code Meditation. Sign up for one of our interactive webinars today. Come to Cosmic Fusion, www.KOSMICfusion.com, to experience an effortless awakening and transformation. Are you ready for an upgrade? Are you ready for a new experience of living in the fifth dimensional magic and powerful connection? Then visit CosmicFusion.com today. CosmicFusion.com.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are you getting screwed on your property taxes? How to find out and how to fix it. Available on Amazon.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Supernatural Girls Radio. I'm your host, Patricia Baker. I am here with my co-host, Patricia Kirkman, PK, and our tremendous guest tonight, Staci Wells. We are talking about medical intuition, the new health detective, of which Staci is one. So we were just talking about the fact that you can also do this medical intuition for people's pets, and you were also mentioning that horses are great to work with because they're so empathic. Do you have some horse stories you can share?
I have a couple. I don't do a lot of work for animals, so there's not much to tell you, especially in terms of what I remember, because most readings I really don't remember. But there's two that stand out in my mind. One was several years ago for a client in Colorado, and he was consulting me about his horse who had a skin condition. I don't recall what the condition was or what the suggestions were that were given, but as I was telling him these things, whatever it was, he started brushing the horse's coat, and he started applying to the horse's coat one of the things that we suggested, and he was telling me as he was doing that, the horse was showing much more signs of less discomfort and more comfort, and with further treatment for a couple of weeks, he said the skin condition resolved.
Nice.
He was a horseman, had many horses. I don't know why he didn't treat this, but like you said earlier, sometimes we just overlook things.
Yeah, sometimes we don't think about it.
Yes, and even it might be something on our own shelf, we just don't think about it.
Right.
There was another horse, more recent, who was who had some sort of condition in his hoof, an infection of some kind. It was getting worse, and when horses get an infection in their hoof, it's not good, and it's very difficult to cure, and very, very often it is incurable and chronic and progressive. We worked with this horse for a long time. We got him better. We got him calmer. He loved working with me. He was a very patient, empathic horse. We just couldn't get him to the point where the condition went away. So I asked the horse, what do you want to do? He says, I want to work with children. I want to help children. And he showed me a vision of them on the child on his back, English saddle, and just walking around, I guess you might call it a corral, very slowly, with his owner by his side. His owner is come on, Staci, does brain transformation work and like neurofeedback, brain mapping, that sort of thing. And so she was very interested in working with children who've received brain injuries as well. She and her horse moved to California from Arizona, and that's exactly what she did, and the horse lived another 2 or 3 years before the hoof condition finally brought him down. And think, in those 2 or 3 years, that horse did so much good for those kids.
Isn't that wonderful?
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That is great. I just got bumped off the air, but I'm rejoining you now. So.
Okay. You said that might happen.
I missed part of the story, but it's okay. I'll listen to the recording. So you are available then to do these types of readings, and people can call you up. You can do these all long distance, right? You don't have to be there in person?
If somebody were to come to my office, they would be coming to my home, and I don't want strangers in my home anymore. I'm a combination introvert, extrovert, so I'm very comfortable in my own space, and naturally my home office is set up for use over the internet and over the phone rather than seeing people in person anymore. Ever since Robert Schwartz's first book, Your Soul's Plan, was published about 8-10 years ago, my clientele became so predominantly worldwide, there was really no cause to continue keeping my office set up for in-person readings. I remodeled it and really don't have the facilities to do in-person readings now either.
Yeah, so it works just as well. That's amazing.
It does, doesn't it? It does.
Yes.
And it gives me the comfort of being in my own private space to take the time to do that and do it in a deep way.
Now, do you teach other people how to do medical intuition also?
No, I don't, because it came naturally to me, just like meditation, just like my psychic abilities. I wouldn't know how to teach it.
Okay. PK, you had a question?
No, I was just going to say the nice thing about being able to have your own space and talk with clientele is you can wear your robe if you want to, and you get deeper into conversations with them than you would if you have to, shall we say, suit up for the day.
So true.
You can be in your PJs. It's okay.
That's right.
No makeup.
I find I can do so much better work when I'm that kind of comfortable.
Right.
Restrictions.
That's right. That's great. Well, now you're also a psychic medium, as we announced, and you also do soul plans, and you have a lot of information about how we choose our parents, our spouses, our children, and even our enemies. Talk to us about that.
There's an interesting thing. When it comes to karmic lessons, of which there are 9, I was asking, perhaps I should give you a little background information on that. I was asking my spirit guide about 20 years ago to help me with knowing what somebody's karmic lessons are. I was convinced that if somebody knew what their karmic lessons were, they wouldn't keep repeating the same self-defeating pattern, whatever that pattern may be.
Yes.
When my spirit guide finally started teaching it to me, it took 3 years through an unusual process that I don't think I need to go into here unless we have the extra time. And it took 3 years to learn this information and then another 9 years to practice with it till I felt really confident that I knew everything about it. So it's a slow process and it takes persistence. But there is one very interesting karmic lesson that I want to start off with that many of these relationships revolve around. That karmic lesson is called balance, with the heart of it being about learning to connect with our emotional balance, that calm place inside that is neither in joy or in sorrow. And then once we learn to make that connection, we take the next step, which is strengthening that connection on a daily basis over time. And so there's a lot of things that our families, either by birth or by choice, including marriage and friends, there's a lot of things that our families will do to us or say, or things that they have happen in their own lives that affect us, that drive us out of balance, giving us the opportunity to get more in balance. That's one way this karmic lesson of balance can affect families. There's also karmic balancing, where one or more souls feels the need to balance out the karma it created in a previous lifetime. Let's say, for example, in a past life, you were somebody's wife, and your husband was a very demanding, self-centered man. He wanted you to do the women's chores, and he expected to have dinner on the table when he came home. Let's say, for example,
hard to imagine.
all your food was food that you grew in your own garden. And he comes home one day, and you're still out at the garden picking the food that you want to use for tonight's dinner. He gets mad. This actually happened to one of my clients. He gets mad, and this is in a past life. He gets very mad. He ties her to a chair in the kitchen, walks away, leaves the house for 3 days, during which time she dies. No water, no food, she dies. The man obviously has some emotional problems. So maybe a few lives later, and this is what happened to my client, there is a pre-birth planning session. That guy is having his pre-birth planning session. And that soul goes to the soul that was his wife in that lifetime and says something like, I cannot forgive myself for what I did for you. Did to you. I understand how you feel and how you felt then, and I cannot tolerate myself if I don't find some way to balance out what I did to you, and by so doing what I also then did to myself. Can I have a life experience with you where I am your father so that I can give you your life back, the life that I took from you? My client agreed, said yes. So in her present lifetime, her father is the man who was her husband in that past life who killed her. In this lifetime, he still was not great at his emotionality, so he gave her her life, he fathered her, he gave her a roof over her head and clothing to eat, but he was not able to be there emotionally for her. And in fact, by so doing, by not being there emotionally for her, he gave her the opportunity to learn to turn towards herself and give herself the love and the validation that she was seeking from her father, who was not able to give it to her. And through that experience, take tremendous growth steps as a result.
Fabulous.
Yeah, and these are not easy lessons, I must say. Now,
that's right.
I did watch a video on your website that was wonderful with you speaking about when your parents aren't ideal, it does give you the opportunity to reinvent how you want to parent yourself. It doesn't have to be in their image. It can be totally different. If you have a parent that failed you, you have a great opportunity to go out and create a parent who serves you and successfully. So I love what you said in that. And certainly all of these are opportunities, although some of them are extremely challenging opportunities. And I can also see where illness can step in at any moment for people, and it adds a completely different dimension karmically to some of the things you just described. So I can see where this is all very connected, and it's great that you have the knowledge of someone's pre-birth planning system so that you can help them with that as well. It's all connected. Yes. All of the things that you do and that you offer to your clients are wonderful services that bring it all into a nice circle, for people to work from. You're welcome. And here's another question for you, because, of course, we hear the cancer word all the time. And when you work with people and you see that they have cancer, do you notice any patterns about that karmically or anything that kind of strings these cases together?
There is one thing that I've noticed. Let me give you an actual case. There was a woman who had breast cancer once. Some years later, she got breast cancer again. Before she had the kind of diagnostic imaging that would show how many cancers, where it was, which breast, all of that, she consulted me. And I actually saw 2 spots of cancer in both breasts, one in each breast. She consulted a lot of other intuitives as well. She went to her doctor, got the diagnostic imaging, and it showed cancer in both of her breasts. She called me and said that I was the only intuitive who accurately saw cancer in both breasts. So she was enormously thankful for that. Now, what do I see in connection with a lot of people who have cancer? One of two things, sometimes both. One is that they have the karmic lesson of adaptiveness, strengthening adaptiveness, which means strengthening emotional flexibility, their ability to go through something that is very disappointing and unexpected and actually get through it better off than they were before it happened. That may not necessarily mean a cure, but it means that they have transformed themselves and the patterns that they have had in their lives to make that kind of change. So this was able to help her emotionally, but she is that person with the karmic lesson of adaptiveness. So this illness, twice in her life and twice being treated, gave her something to wrap herself around, something really tangible that she had to adapt to, that she had to adjust herself to. And this karmic lesson also brings the necessity of having to work very hard for change. And so she threw her all into it, and she persisted. And she went through some really tough times with enormous personal strength and got through it all psychologically and emotionally more healthier than most other people. Sometimes it's having that clue, that upfront clue, like she got with me, that puts a person's mind at ease and gives them the sense that there's a path to take to make the situation better. And as I said before, empowers them.
Exactly. Because when a lot of people hear that diagnosis, it comes with a tremendous amount of fear. And
yes.
You feel powerless when you hear something like that being given to you by your doctor. But you're giving people with your work some great insight, some great empowerment abilities to take charge of their lives. And I've heard this said so many times that when you get the diagnosis of cancer, you really need to change just about everything.
Yeah.
And that makes a big difference in your survival.
Mm-hmm. And I would say the number one and two things to change are stop eating sugar and stop eating wheat, even organic wheat. Because wheat is the most toxic, inflammatory food that we have, and sugar is known to cause cancer and make it worse.
Yeah, cancer loves sugar, from what I hear.
And then sugar is also bad for dementia. It can be one of the causes of dementia, and it will hasten the dementia process.
Oh, boy. No more sweets.
Another karmic lesson that I see in common with many people who have cancers of one type or another is the karmic lesson of emotional independence. It makes them really have to work on the internal process of clearing up their emotions, clearing up the emotional baggage, the clutter of every hurtful word that's ever been said to them, everything they have not forgiven themselves for. Knowing that this is one of the underlying causes, you then know that you need to work on this in your own way. And whether that cancer gets cured or not, the person becomes emotionally stronger, emotionally healthier. And if, perchance, it is a cancer that is fatal for whatever the reason, they are able to go through that transition in a much more peaceful way because of it. And that has happened too.
When you're talking about and sweets and such with cancer, does honey fall into that category as a sweet, or is that considered a natural?
I had to listen to my spirit guide on that, and he says honey is an exacerbator. So like sugar, it makes things worse. That doesn't mean that it's all bad. I use local honey as an allergy treatment before allergy season, and it's very effective. But it has to be local.
So many
but
of us
everything needs to be done in balance. And sugar is one of those things that we can get out of balance with real quickly.
Oh, I know. I've been a sugarholic most of my life, and cutting back and changing how I eat has not been fun. But then being alive is a lot better than the alternative, so we're going to work on it.
That is the truth.
And Staci, what about structural issues? There are a lot of people now going in for, replacements to joints, and also have a lot of people with back problems. So structural issues. Do you see any common thread there with karmic issues?
Anytime it's a bone problem, we're looking at something that is likely a very hard, entrenched emotional pattern. My spirit guide just now said a pattern of self-denial.
Interesting thought.
And imagine how many ways self-denial can manifest. It can be that mother that is always on the couch because she doesn't feel well, she's got some condition, and she's angry all the time, and she yells at the kids, and she yells at the husband. That's one way that it can affect, that those emotions are connected to that condition. Her emotions are very rigid. She tries to be tough by dominating and controlling others, and now she develops a condition where it's time to start turning towards herself, and if she doesn't and she keeps sticking to her old patterns, that condition is not going to resolve. She's not going to have the emotional and spiritual breakthrough that her soul may have planned that condition for as an opportunity to have that breakthrough.
Okay, so that seems to make a lot of sense.
Thank you.
When
it
a
does.
person,
go ahead, PK.
I was going to say, when we're talking about cancer, when a person has cancer at a young age, we'll say a breast cancer, at a young age, we'll say the mid-30s, and then it returns again to the other breast, say in the late 40s, and both are taken care of and all aspects seem to be fine, and then in the end, a result, about 20 years later, it becomes esophageal cancer. It's like it's just moving up the body. Is that because of not being able to hold the emotions in, or because of having to try to balance out their beliefs?
Could you go back to the beginning of that, where it might have started? It originated lower down.
It originated in the right breast for this individual first.
Okay, that's what I wanted to start talking about.
Yeah.
When we have that kind of a situation, and this doesn't say everything about that condition, but when we have that kind of a condition where something is one-sided, and when you're talking about the breasts being representative of all of our female nurturing sort of qualities, and sometimes we do not employ that kind of nurturing on ourselves, the left side of our body is where we will tend to have our reactions to female energy, whether it's our own or somebody else's. The right side of the body will generally act up as an expression of us having some sort of difficulty of some kind with a man in our life or a boy in our life, and if not that, then an issue with the active principle of ourself, because the female part of us is nurturing, receptive. The male part of us is active, the doer, that sort of thing. And we are a balance somewhere inside of ourselves of the two. So does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. considering I know the individual that went through this, so I know what her attitude was about numerous things. So it fits.
And I think as it goes up into the esophagus, there is something there about stifling her self-expression in some way, maybe even her words, not expressing her deepest thoughts and feelings to herself or to the right people.
Or could it possibly be maybe verbalizing too much?
That would depend on how she's verbalizing it.
Okay. Yeah, because this very watching people.
This would be something that would be best served in a reading where she and I might be able to talk on a deeper level.
I think that's a great idea. I shall certainly pass this on to her.
Happy to be of service.
Yeah, all of these things. I'm sorry, go ahead, PK.
That I like the way that she handles things because they make such common sense without having someone to feel like they're going too far into the, as some of them call it, the woo-woo side. It's very black and white. It's very direct and to the point. I love it.
Thank you. It does sometimes take a long time to get spirit suggestions for what could help the illness or health issue. That's some of what takes a long time during the reading, and also if I need to look inside somebody's body, that also takes some time too. So it's a good idea to plan for that when we do a reading for somebody, and that's why I make a 45-minute session the least amount of time, because it will usually take anywhere from 45 minutes, 75 minutes, sometimes even 90.
Yeah, I mean, today when we were working together, it just almost, we used a lot of time. I think we did 90 minutes almost, didn't we?
Close to it, yes.
Yeah, and
now you understand.
Go ahead. You still had more to go over. So it was like, you come forth with not only your own giftedness, but you also come with information from the spirit side. So a whole different perspective on things. And it does take time. So, yeah, people, when you're planning a session with Staci, make sure you set it up for enough time so that you can get everything in. And there is just a wealth of information about the spirit side as well as the physical side. It's all important. It's all tied together. So definitely make enough time for that. What about with children who come in with these horrifying diseases that shorten their lives? What's the deal with that? I mean, why would people choose to experience that kind of a challenge in life?
The one reading that stands out to me about that, and this is a common thread that weaves into the other readings about children in that condition with those kinds of health issues. This one really stood out to me. This was a little girl who had passed away 2 years before the reading, when she was 4 years old. Her mother, of course, was still distraught, felt like it was her fault. It wasn't. And instead of doing a health reading, I actually wound up doing psychic mediumship because the daughter was here with me and wanted to give her mother some messages, and the messages overall were, this was planned. She said why it was planned, and it was planned basically as the previous lifetime, where they were also in the same roles, mother and daughter, had been cut short due to an accident that I believe the daughter had. And so she wanted to come back and live out the remainder of the lifespan that was cut short, and that was the 4 years. So it was a finishing, a sort of putting an ending to a chapter in the book of both of these souls. And without that ending, they couldn't go on. They couldn't move on and release this. The mother still had guilt carrying over from the previous lifetime, where she actually witnessed the accident that killed her daughter. Felt tremendous guilt then. So this reading, even though it was started off as a medical intuitive about her daughter who had passed, it ended up being mediumship and exactly what that woman needed to hear.
Oh, incredible.
That's one of the reasons that, just one of the reasons that children will come in and do this.
Fascinating. Yeah, it always looks just terrible when it happens that way with a child, but now you're explaining it.
So sad.
And it takes on a different perspective. We have another caller. I'm going to get to this person. It looks like they may be calling in from Skype, so let me get them on the air. Hi, you're live on the air. Who's calling tonight?
Oh, hi. This is Casey. Thank you. I'm so fascinated, and I would love to have 1 million readings, so forgive me for this question, but I thought I would try. Does Staci ever offer promotional special discounts, or is there one for the readers of the the listeners of the radio show, perchance?
For Supernatural Girls listeners.
I'm sorry to tell you that I don't offer discounts. My schedule is so booked.
Mhm. Can understand that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. I would love to make my services available to everybody, but I can't.
But you do offer different time frames and different costs, right? So a 45-minute reading.
Yes, different reading lengths. Right. I try to make them as affordable to everybody as much as possible. So I do offer the different lengths at different prices. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
So
no,
that's something
just said that 45 minutes would not be enough. So.
Oh, okay. You're going to have to save your shekels, and so that you can have Staci work with you because she's amazing. But it's a big question.
That's another way
it doesn't hurt to ask.
Another way of taking care of yourself, of strengthening the relationship with yourself through compassion.
Very true.
Okay. I'll see what I can work out. Thank you.
All right. And thank you for your call.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think this should be covered by insurance. That's what I think.
Except it's not a finite
science.
It would be
so much more helpful. So much more helpful than most of the crap that is covered by insurance. So.
Yes, and it is too bad that my work is so costly because I don't work with insurance, but I just don't think insurance companies would want to work with a medical intuitive. Even though my doctors are fine with it, I go into my doctor's offices pretty much self-diagnosed, and they'll work with me, and usually that diagnosis is correct.
Yes, and so you can look inside your own body, and you can see where a source of a problem may be, which is a wonderful talent thing out there. That's great.
Yeah, most of the time. There is this emotional block that sometimes happens, like if I were trying to read my husband, and sometimes with myself, and those emotions can block that ability.
Oh, sure, when you're too close to something. That's understandable. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yes. Now, with your gifts, which are tremendous, do you see them getting stronger over time? Is that what's happening? That's
an interesting question. I don't know if it's, well, I guess you'd say stronger because the seeing into bodies and seeing chakras happened when I was 15. I think it is strengthened over time through use, through persistence, through attention, and through self-transformation, working on my crap, my lessons.
Mm-hmm.
I think it does get strengthened over time. But as I've said previously, practice, persist. There you go. I also think that I am receiving information about some of my own past lives in recent years because I am now at the point where I understand them and I understand their place in my life. I really think that sometimes my spirit guides holds back some of that past life information until I've reached a point in my own life where he can now reveal that to me for whatever the reason.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes sense.
You feel that past life information enhances how you handle this go around this time? I
didn't hear the beginning of that question.
Is the past life information that you'll gain, is that enhancing what you know today about what's going on, or does it come across as a go along with, where the crossover isn't exactly there? Does it?
The past lives, my past lives, explain to me where I've gotten some of this knowledge, how long I've worked on it, and it makes sense to me now, and I accept it now. Is that what you were asking?
Well, does it help you in this lifetime, shall we say, make it better by what you see and what you feel, because of the past lives go through different stages? Have these assisted you in what you've gone into in this lifetime or possibly the next lifetime?
It makes me feel better about what I do.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes good sense. You do it very well.
Thank you. I think I've done it before in other lives, and we work on our talents, our abilities, those things that we're passionate about. We work on those over many, many lifetimes because we enjoy them and because we want to master them.
Yes, yes. I have a question for you from a friend of mine who called me right before the show and said that he was told that his health problems, which have been significant over the last few years, are the cause of some entity hanging on to him. Have you ever encountered that?
Yes.
Where there's some other...
Sure.
Okay, you have. Tell us about that.
What
do you do with that?
The health problems can weaken the aura to the extent that an entity can attach itself. If you're hanging around in hospitals where people die, there are a lot of entities that are attracted to that pain, that fear. Sometimes even people who die who do not make it to the light. Any of that can become attached to somebody who's in that weakened state physically, which also usually transfers to the emotions too. And the two combine, and that's a powerful aura hole opener, if you will.
And so that could be a cause of his constant illness. And then what do you do?
I don't know if it would be a cause, but I don't know if it's a cause, but it would certainly be a drain on his energy over time, and in time that can cause illness. Illness,
yes, and the problem with getting well. So what do you do when you see that in somebody's energy system? How do you handle that?
I utilize the highest, strongest form of psychic protection that I know of. And then I teach it to them. I do it to them, and then I teach it to them so that they can continue the work, because it takes a very long time to actually close up the aura after the entity has been detached. And sometimes just filling that aura and that body with white light is enough to make it too uncomfortable for that entity, and the entity will detach itself. I will send somebody a document with these instructions and my personal experience, and it includes some tips, some extra tips for clearing negative energy from their space, from their home, from themselves. But the one thing people forget is that when an entity attaches themselves to you, it creates a hole in your aura. And once you get rid of that entity, it takes 6 months for your aura to heal. And in order to help your aura heal, you need to stay away from things metaphysical, things psychic in particular, and things that induce fear. You know, don't watch television or movies that instill fear in you, like The Walking Dead or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things
right.
will reopen holes in the aura. So it takes 6 months to really seal those holes in the aura, and most people don't know that.
No, I didn't know it took that long.
I did not.
Did you know that, PK?
No, I'm startled. I go, oh my goodness. What about a person that is born with, we'll just say, granddaughter was born without all of her left arm? What creates that? The thing that
I'm going to give you personal experience from my mother for that.
Okay.
And I will say also, remember that left side is nurturing, receiving. My mother was born severely deformed. Several different problems, several different things that caused various deformities. She had 13 surgeries as a child in order to correct these deformities, but always, 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 her body appeared deformed. What a great thing for me to utilize for increasing compassionate awareness. But for her, the condition originated from a past life where she was a man and she was the owner of a plantation in the South at the time that we were shipping people over from Africa and other countries, other islands, to become slaves. Mm-hmm. And she not only caused those slaves to be taken from their homes, taken from their families, from where they lived, put into shackles, brought across the sea and sold into slavery. She also abused, mistreated those same slaves, sometimes cutting off a finger, a hand, half of an arm. This woman was severely inflicted with these physical deformities as balancing karma because she felt so bad in the afterlife about what she had done to these people. And she had a lot of karma to rebalance. And that was one of the ways she was rebalancing her personal karma. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So, I wonder what it is, too, where people suddenly get a conscience when they pass over that they didn't have when they were here, but they pass over and suddenly they feel bad.
Because the personality has ego, the soul does not. The spirit does not.
Makes sense. That makes total sense. Yes. Wow. And all of this information that you have is so fascinating. Does this come to you just like a channeling thing, or does it come from your spirit guide, or both?
All the above. And some of it is my own. Some of it is my own knowledge.
Oh my goodness! Well, what an exciting life you lead. I mean, you must meet some fascinating people along the way. Some great animals too. This is just a wonderful, wonderful life that you have, and you're sharing all of your gifts with us tonight, and we so appreciate it. This has been valuable, really valuable information. And I have to give a shout out to our dear friend Corby Mitleid, who introduced us to you, and she said, "Oh, she's the best. Staci's the best." So of course we had to have you on our show. Hearing that from Corby, who we dearly love, Corby. So, anyways, that this has been just a wonderful, wonderful evening with you, Staci. And if you could again announce your website, how people can get in touch with you. And you said you're booking out pretty far right now, right? Is it like 3 weeks or 4 weeks before people can get an appointment?
It may be. A short time ago, I was booked 2 months out, so it varies between the two. All of my pre-birth planning reading appointments are already booked for 2019 this year, but I have lots of openings still for all the other readings, including the medical intuitive.
Oh, that's
my
great.
website
and again,
is the best.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
My website is the best place to go to find out more about my readings and request your own appointment. My website is www.stacywells.com. That's S like Sam, T like Tom, ACIWELL. That's LL like Larry, S like Sam, StaciWells.com.
Oh, great. Well, Staci, thank you so much. We're going to definitely have to have you back on the show. And speaking of having guests back on the show, we've been told we have to have Daryl Sims back. We're going to be bringing him back in July. And next week, we have another exciting show coming up with Shaman Itzhak Berry. He is joining us once again. Until then, everybody, we'll see you on the Blue Highway. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for another radio adventure with Supernatural